Welcome back to another Spurs film study, where today we're going to take a look at the sets and actions San Antonio has utilized to get De'Aaron Fox going as a scorer and playmaker since joining the Silver and Black via a blockbuster trade deadline deal right before the All-Star break. Let's go ahead and start with the basics with this simple angled pick and roll between Fox and Sochan. His speed and handle make Fox a drop coverage killer, and because he's a threat to get all the way to the rim on every possession, Onyeka Okongwu is forced to give him space and left off balance by this hang dribble into a leaner in the middle of the paint. And even with a solid contest, Fox is a tough shot maker. Earlier in his debut, the Spurs turned to a guard-on-guard empty side pick and roll with Chris Paul, knowing Atlanta was switching ball screens, which took all-defense first-team candidate Dyson Daniels out of the picture and left rookie forward Zachary Rissache on an island with Fox. And while he isn't a prolific three-point shooter, De'Aaron is more than capable of pulling the trigger off the bounce when his man is backpedaling. San Antonio has also used more traditional empty side pick and rolls, and here Fox blows by Nick Smith Jr., puts on the brakes for a crossover that loses him in recovery, and punishes Taj Gibson in drop coverage with a feathery floater. And this sequence is exactly why Brian Wright acquired Fox. A switch on the slip from Wembanyama gives the All-NBA guard a mouth-watering mismatch against Moussa Diabate, and he asks the big man, "Can I have this dance?" before sinking a clutch bucket for the Spurs. San Antonio often runs this double drag action for their ball handlers in semi-transition, but no one on the roster has the combination of wheels, change of pace, and pull-up shooting to capitalize on the chaos it sows for the defense quite like Fox does. The coaching staff has also installed this new double drag setup into a throw and chase action that helps the already lightning quick Fox attack downhill. It doesn't result in a layup this time, but free throws are just as valuable. De'Aaron can also do damage as a screener, ghosting this high pick and roll to generate some initial separation before reaching into his bag for this crafty up and under teardrop that evades the rim protector. This time, the Spurs use some zipper action as a decoy for Fox to ghost the ball screen and drive downhill, so let's pause before the pass and survey the floor. Because Peyton Pritchard gambled for the steal, the rest of the Celtics have to scramble to cover his mistake and stop Fox from a guaranteed layup. And while this isn't a particularly special read, De'Aaron Fox makes the right play to hit Stephon Castle for a wide open catch and shoot three. San Antonio runs that set back with a slight adjustment, having Fox glide into an empty side pick and roll with Wembanyama, where he drives baseline, displaces Pritchard with his shoulder, and rises for a short midi that's right in his wheelhouse. Even though Fox should probably initiate most of the offense, he's shown some real off-ball utility, slipping the screen out of pistol formation when two men trap CP3, and flowing directly into this pull-up jumper off the glass. Again, I'm not a huge fan of these Fox and Paul backcourt lineups, but we've at least seen a glimpse of how effective the former can be without the ball in his hands. This veer action, where Sochan drifts from a ball screen to a wide pin down for Fox, highlights the viable movement shooting De'Aaron has in his toolkit, even if it's inside the arc. And of course, the Spurs, like the rest of the league, lean on these Zoom and Miami actions in a variety of situations to get their best rim finishers some momentum coming out of the corners and going toward the hoop. Whereas Zoom is a wide pin down into a dribble handoff, Miami is a dribble handoff into a ball screen, though they essentially serve the same purpose. And when you have arguably the best burst in the sport, this bends defenses and generates clean looks on the perimeter, especially combined with the elite roll gravity of Wembanyama. Even when Vic isn't on the hardwood, defenses are still preoccupied with figuring out how to keep Fox from getting 2 feet inside the paint. And if they don't communicate when he rounds the corner, it's all too easy for him to lead his big to the basket. Let's check out the differences in some sets that should be familiar to eagle-eyed Spurs fans, starting with this horns out, empty dribble handoff, blind pig arrangement that initially yields nothing for Devin Vassell and takes a reset and second drive to create a triple at the end of the shot clock for Champagny. Now see how much cleaner this set runs when the Spurs can deploy De'Aaron with a head full of steam on this no-look dump-off from Wemby. He botches the slam, but that's only because Corey Kispert hacks him at the summit. Pistol chase is a staple for Stephon Castle, but the rookie guard has to apply some savvy deceleration to beat Pascal Siakam for a difficult and one. There are other factors at work, but notice the gap in acceleration as Fox streaks past Porzingis to kiss an uncontested finger roll off the backboard. How about this routine wide flip Miami play from the Popovich archives that usually generates a corner three that necessitates a pinpoint skip pass? Well, Fox can opt to forego that flip back to Paul for a baked-in keeper to drive and catch the defense asleep at the controls. Here's another pet play San Antonio loved to run for Vic and Vassell before Fox arrived in Alamo City. That elbow entry into an empty side dribble handoff worked well for that duo, but like most things in the playbook, it has the potential to be so much better with De'Aaron. That isn't to say things have been perfect since the new number 2 has come to town. After all, the Silver and Black are just 1-4 since trading for the All-Star point guard. Yet despite a shaky start to a new era in the 2-1-0, it's impossible to ignore how the fantastic Mr. Fox has positively impacted their offense.